Uh, well, it's a voice actor from Texas, who's been in a few anime, including one ongoing right now. Uh, Twitch streamer occasionally, and if you see a red cloaked skeleton figure on TikTok, it's probably me, also known as the Red Lich. But yeah, that's pretty much who I am.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Movement Radio. I am Chip Hazard,
I'm Talon Williams.
And I'm Roger Sierra.
and today we are joined by voice actor extraordinaire Justin Green. Justin, how are you today?
Well, right now I'm feeling very flattered and doing pretty well. How about y'all? Thanks for having me.
Doing
Thanks for
great.
being
Thanks.
here.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you being here, dude.
Yeah. Um, it's great to, finally put a voice to the dialogue after,
Yes.
all the emails back and forth. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, who is Justin Green?
Well, it's a voice actor from Texas, who's been in a few anime, including one ongoing right now. Uh, Twitch streamer occasionally, and if you see a red cloaked skeleton figure on TikTok, it's probably me, also known as the Red Lich. But yeah, that's pretty much who I am.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, Chip asked the question, who are you? I'm going to ask the question, who were you before you got into anime, before you got into voice acting and stuff? What was that moment that led you to say, hey, this is something I want to do?
Well, my voice acting journey is not the normal one. Not that there is one road, but it surprisingly started in retail. If you look at my background before voiceover, it says this guy is not an actor. This guy has not done performing arts for just about anything. But kind of discovered from my mom in a customer service role that sometimes you need to put on a certain character, even though you may not be feeling it at the time, but the show must go on. So I actually used to work at a bookstore, and sometimes if you're having a really bad day, you can't exactly show that when you're trying to sell books. So it'd be like, oh man, today is so frustrating. Hi, did you find everything you're looking for? All right, do you want to buy a membership? And then someone was like, hey, do you do radio or voiceover or anything? And I go, well, what's that? And then kind of step by step after that, just kind of learning like, okay, that's researching. Oh, people do this. Oh, actual people get into the booth for anime and cartoons. Hey, maybe I can look into this. And then it kind of went on from there. I won't bore you with the details, but that's kind of how my journey started.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Uh, so what was that? Did you watch anime before you kind of got into it, or is this a thing where you were like, hey, I can do this and nobody has
Oh,
to see me?
oh, absolutely. Ironically, nowadays I'm in more anime than I watch currently, but before, especially growing up, like, oh yeah, I watched anime all the time. Started off with Pokemon and Digimon season one, Yu-Gi-Oh, and then like as I got older, so did the anime, Inuyasha, some Dragon Ball, Code Geass, and so on and so forth. Now I wish I had more time to watch anime, but nowadays, the most anime I watch are the clips right before I dub them.
Mm.
So I have to usually be told, okay, here's what the scene's about. All right, cool. So, but yeah, I
So
have
there's
a
no,
soft spot for anime. Yeah.
is there any, so are you not watching anything currently, or is it just the clips that you have to record for it?
Not currently, not by choice. It's more like available time right now. Because
Right.
especially since I see peers and also friends being like, hey, announcing I'm gonna do this role, and I'm like, oh man, I really want to watch that. And then I'm like, I don't have time to watch all that. Shoot. I want to, but I can't right now. I'll put it on the list. So I have a
Yeah.
long list of like, here's all the shows that I need to watch.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I'll get there. I'll get there.
I'm
Of
currently
course.
I have 4 shows in my rotation right now, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got 4 of them in rotation right now. I got Spy Family,
Ooh, that's a good
the
one.
rest of Demon Slayer season of the Hashira training, uh Gaijin number 8, and Hell's Paradise. Oh, they're the 4 in my rotation right now.
Nice, nice. I've been meaning to
Yes.
get it was a Kaiju number 8, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of my friends are in that one. I'm like, oh, now I really need to see that one. It looks so
Yeah.
cool.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Uh,
I feel like they did justice to it.
I feel like they did as well. So you mentioned you kind of started your anime journey with Pokemon. Um, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got to say it's kind of a three-way tie for different reasons.
Okay.
I have a soft spot for Bulbasaur because he's just adorable. It's a little plant creature. Mewtwo, just because he's awesome. Absolutely
Right.
awesome. And then really have a soft spot for Eevee, just because it's like a puppy and a cat and a fox all at the same time, and it's heckin' adorable.
Yeah.
So
It is.
yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you said you worked at a bookstore prior to getting into voice acting. Do you remember what that first anime title that you worked on was?
Oh, absolutely. It's very hard to forget because it started all of it. And unfortunately, with my voiceover career, I actually worked backwards. Um, the smart thing to do is get trained in voiceover, probably do some other stuff, get good at the get more established in the craft, then go to anime. And instead, that's where I started, uh, because I there's some friends who told me like, oh yeah, you should send this to so and so. Sent in a decent at the time. Now I look back and go, oh, crappy. A homemade voiceover demo to what is now Crunchyroll, but back then, Funimation. And about a month later, I get a random email that has the word, Funimation in the title email, saying, "Hey, can you make a session at this time with Kyle for EZeta?" I'm like, I don't know who Kyle is. I don't know what EZeta is. Sure. So my very first anime was EZeta the Last Witch, which is basically a fantasy alternate universe style of World War II.
Mhm.
So my first anime roles were soldiers on both sides of fantasy World War II, which is very confusing.
I can see it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun though.
Well, isn't that the point to have fun? I mean, make
Oh yeah.
money, but have
Yeah.
fun at the
Well,
same time.
yeah, my opinion is like you gotta have fun with it because like the roles can be all over the place, but it's like it's much more enjoyable if you're actually having fun with it and you get to, you express more, I feel, when you're having a good time.
Hmm.
Some lines are harder than others, but the really fun ones, then you're like, hey, I'm glad I did that, you know?
So what's the most fun you ever had during a session?
Oh, probably. Oh gosh. Sorry, I'm starting to have like some anime wall of flashbacks here. Probably half the time that I've recorded extras for One Piece. Uh, because that show, I started watching it when it was like on, 4Kids, like way when it first started out in English dubbing. And then I just didn't watch it for a long, long time. And then so finding out that like every arc is so different from the last, the first time and every time since I've been brought into some different arc, it's been okay, so here's what's going on with the pirates, here's what's going on, and I have to sit there going, uh-huh, okay, sure, all right. So Probably the most fun, or one of the most fun sessions we had was during the arc with the fire tank pirates, which were basically these gangster pirates, all with like, fedoras and trench coats and stuff. And their captain was literally Al Capone. And sometimes you really had to put on like the gangster kind of talk, like you were from New York and were gonna rough some pirates up. And there's a lot of laughs that are had in the booth and everything. But this particular one got us all laughing till our sides hurt. We had to do whenever you have Wallace sessions, it's basically like crowd work stuff, you know. If there's
Hmm.
more than three or four people in a scene, then like three or four actors record it several times to make it sound like a lot of people. So at one point the crew goes like, "Yeah!" Um, but to kind of make it interesting, we did a couple passes like, "Yeah!" Like, okay, now make it lower, "Yeah!" But then for the third pass, the director goes, "All right, I really want you to lean into the gangsta pirate thing. Really put on like the sleazy kind of accent for this. Like just really go like, yeah, like did the hands and everything too." Um, and so without prompting, all four of us big dudes in the booth, all with full enthusiasm, all with the hands too, went, yeah. And we all look over because in the booth, like there's this big old windows where you can see like the director and the audio engineer. We look over and the director is on the floor laughing. So that's probably a top contender for me personally. The time we got the director to just completely break. And we used the take. It was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. That's
You got
perfect.
you got to use the take after that, right? I mean,
It's like, do you want one more with more feeling?
More hands.
more
Yeah,
enthusiasm.
I couldn't hear the hands quite enough.
Where's your spirit fingers over here? That was my bad attempt at a Brooklyn accent. I apologize.
Well, you heard what I did for mine. It's all good.
You think the Italian gangster pirates care where you're from?
I don't know. It was good enough for the captain. It was good enough for us. If there are those with that accent and it was offensive, I apologize on behalf of Captain Al Capone and the rest of my crew.
Oh man. Um, I love it. I love it. So from Izetta, where do you go next in your trajectory as a voice artist?
Well, it from there, it pretty much from there it kind of goes on like what direction do you kind of want to take it? You know, like what a lot of people don't realize is that when it comes to voiceover, a ton of it is one, auditioning for stuff you may not book, but
Hmm.
like the vast majority of it, especially with my own career, has been networking. It's been, every experience, every voiceover gig, every time in the booth that's kind of, stacked up. Sometimes it's like, you might get a certain role named or an unnamed extra or something like that because someone heard you as, Soldier A and think like, what about if you played like Villager 7? Like, okay. And then they might put you on some kind of list to go, okay, this guy's pretty good at a soldier, a person, and then might consider you for other stuff. But sometimes it's also about like whenever someone posts saying like, "Hey, we're opening up our roster to do voice talent and like feel free to submit and stuff like that." You want to jump on that as soon as possible. Um, it's actually kind of funny because I there was one roster that I'm still on to this day that the reason I got a role for them was because the director went out on Twitter or X um, and said, well, Twitter at the time, and said, "Hey, voice actors, can you sound like a monster and are local to blankety blank area? If so, please send samples to this email." And I was like, I can do some creature voices. Sure. So I sent in kind of various ones. One of them that sounded like a mangled Gollum impression, but a couple of them that, well, when they called me in, they played back the specific creature, and it was, well, this got me the role, and I got a beast roll because of that.
That's
And
pretty cool.
Nice.
thank you. Um, and then from there, it's pretty much, uh, don't be a jerk, and that helps a lot with networking as well. You have to be a decent person. Because you never know how many doors that'll open, but being a jerk will close so many so quick.
100%
Um,
agreed.
Yep.
Absolutely. We of course we talked about, all the different roles that you've done and things of that nature. Um, but I do got a serious question to ask you. With the advent of artificial intelligence ingratiating itself into the entertainment industry, what is your honest opinion about the usage of AI in the entertainment industry?
I am not a fan personally because I have actually had some friends and colleagues have have AI generation without their permission or consent, and they're having their voices basically stolen for free. And first of all, they're not good. They're terrible. But also, it's like, a kind of a thing of like, hey, I'm trying to make a livelihood or make art out of this thing, and you're basically taking my tools, you know. It's pretty discouraging. Like if like say if I wanted to do some on-camera work and actually use my face for once, and then someone like took some kind of AI thing of my face and my likeness and just threw it on all this other stuff, I'd go, well, first of all, that's creepy. But second, kind of makes me not want to pursue the craft anymore because you just kind of made this, you really version of it.
Yeah.
And it's creepy, but I don't think it's really ethical personally. Now, if someone like, James Earl Jones, I'm not a huge fan of it personally, but he, consented and actually, said, you know, hey, for a certain amount of money, fine, you can use my likeness for stuff. Like, not a fan of it personally, makes me a little sad, but that's his choice. You know, if someone chooses to do that, that's more along the lines of like, okay, fine, I don't agree with the decision, but it's yours. If it's made against your will, I'm 100% nope, I'm against all that. And I don't want my voice, especially being used for AI. Like, I'm a somewhere like G-rated actor somewhere down there. I definitely don't want my voice being used. I'm still trying to build something here, so please don't. I barely got this, man.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I understand. Um, so we'll take a step away from voice acting for a second. Let's talk about your Twitch stream. What do you enjoy streaming?
Mostly adventure games and something that I can just, have fun with. Occasionally I'll do horror, something that I can lean into just to like get a laugh out of, or sometimes play with friends. I sometimes stream some Minecraft with my mods and another voice acting friend of mine who is like a brother to me.
Hmm.
Um, he also made his Twitch persona as well. It's I guess do y'all mind if I name drop him or
Go
No,
ahead.
Go
no.
ahead.
Feel free.
well, his Twitch stream is Mihai Zeta or Michael Zekas on Twitter. Um, yeah, absolutely like, well, one of the best actors I know and one of the best human beings I know personally. And just like all the fun we have with streams, like you never know what's going to happen. If it's Minecraft, it's like, what are we going to do today? Let's explore and just see what happens. Or or if we play like, some adventurous game like Sea of Thieves, it's like, all right, is it going to be smooth today? Are we going to get attacked? And this is going to be a content kind of stream? Who knows? Now, admittedly, because of my TikToks, my Red Lich character accidentally became my most popular character. So for Twitch, normally I have this little animated version of my skeleton character, and I
Hmm.
just put on the Lich voice the whole time, as much as I'm able.
Right.
Yeah. So,
So obviously you play video games.
oh
Was you
yeah.
always a gamer? Was you a gamer growing up as well?
Oh yes.
All right.
I
So
grew
what?
up on Legend of Zelda.
Hey,
Which
hey,
one? Which one's the best?
here we go. Here we go. We're fixing to start a fight. Go ahead.
Ooh. Well, I'm not here to start a fight because
No, I'm
that's
talking about Roger. He's going to try to start a fight.
oh, okay, okay. Well, the one I think that is nearest and dearest to my heart is Ocarina of Time, because that's the one I mostly grew up with. But there's something to be said about like all the Zelda games that I have played because of the music, the adventure, the friendships that like, you make in the games and outside of it and how it brings people together. And you don't realize how much it means to you until you kind of revisit it later. Like even the other day, I was like just cleaning the house and I'm like, let's put on some music. And then the Wind Waker soundtrack pops up
Yep.
and
Yeah.
I'm just immediately taken back. I'm like, oh yeah, that was so much fun. So
Yeah.
That's my go-to cleaning soundtrack.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna start any fights. Like all of them are good for various reasons.
Yeah.
The one I've replayed the most, definitely Ocarina of Time, because Tears of the Kingdom is too long for me to replay. But but they're all like so much fun.
Yeah. Twilight Princess's soundtrack is very, very dark
Oh
compared to the
yeah.
other ones, though. That's the only one. Because Majora's Mask was really good as far as like the music and stuff. Matter of
Oh
fact,
yeah.
we did an episode many, many moons ago about the best Nintendo 64 original soundtracks. And both Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were both on the list.
As they
So
should be.
yeah,
Yes.
because both of them had amazing soundtracks. Both
Oh
of
yeah.
them.
Yeah. So what game actually are you streaming at the moment?
Well, I accidentally got addicted to Sea of Thieves. So
Okay.
mostly that for now. I do know that I need to get back onto Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I played through the remake. Then my hard drive died, so all my data got
Oh.
lost.
Oh,
Luckily, after I beat the game, so
Okay.
yeah. At
I
least
was
you beat the
like,
game. Yeah.
yeah, if I hadn't beaten the game, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna just look at the rest of the cutscenes. We're not doing this. This took way too long, in a fun way, but I'm like, I don't have that kind of time to replay that. Uh, but yeah, mostly Sea of Thieves right now. Or for whenever the next Bendy and the Ink Machine sequel comes out, I'm gonna be all over that.
Yeah. That's horror. That's like cartoon horror, right?
Absolutely.
Because I've never played it. I've heard a lot of stuff about that game and Cupheads and stuff like that. I've never actually sat down and played them yet.
Yeah.
Cuphead's got a show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still need to watch Cuphead too. Yeah, Bendy, it kind of hits home for me just because it kind of introduces the scary thought of like, what if you poured your heart and soul into this, like little innocent creation, and especially if you gave it like a tragic past or whatever the heck, and what if it came to life and it didn't like what it saw, and then kind of so that character concept to me alone is like terrifying. So I'm like, if any of my characters ever met me, it would not be a fun conversation. They'd be like, "You did what to our story?"
Oh my goodness. You got me thinking now, like all the like the bad, evil anime characters, if they were to come to life and visit the person that did their voice, that would be a very scary thought for some of the voice actors. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to meet some of mine.
No. Like Shao Tucker walks up to Chuck Huber like, "Hi, how you doing?"
Oh.
Uh-oh. You know?
Or
That'd be a
better
scary
yet,
thought.
or if they came up to the writers like, so you thought this was good for my character arc, huh?
Mm-hmm. A girl and a dog, and I'm a one-off antagonist. Really?
Um,
Anime needed a girl dog. They
I
haven't had
know.
one
I
yet.
yeah.
we know, Roger. We know.
So you're currently addicted to Sea of Thieves. Have you looked into the Ubisoft game Skull and Bones?
Oh, right. I remember seeing that recently, or at least I saw like the title card. And I know it's a pirate game, but that's as far as I know.
So it's very similar to Sea of Thieves, um, but more like action adventure. It was created by the same people who did Assassin's Creed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, now you've got me interested because I did play a lot of Assassin's Creed up to a point, including Black Flag,
Yeah.
Ah,
argu
Yeah.
arguably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that about a lot of people kind of went away from Assassin's Creed after Black Flag because most of it. Yep. Roger. Yep.
It had
It-
a lot to do with them deterring away from what brought Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
the
when they
recognition that it got, and it
when
went
they
more,
literally went away from the main story to a different story.
yeah. And then they were telling a
yeah.
whole bunch of other stories. I mean, Odyssey I thought was good. Origins was good. I'm currently still playing Valhalla, but it's not like Black Flag. It's not even like the original three. So yeah.
Yeah, Black Flag was more like it was more like a pirate game that happened to have an Assassin's Creed storyline, I think, or at least
Hmm.
that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like as the games kind of progressed, like we played a lot of Odyssey because that also kind of felt like the same thing. It's like it's a Greek RPG, and also there's some Assassin's Creed in there somewhere. Um, but also after a certain point, it's like when you start to reveal too much of the mysteries of the game, then it's like the intrigue starts to, lose its value, you know?
Right.
It's like, well, we already know all the answers. Like, what more can you throw at us? You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta leave
Yep.
some of the mystery, some of the questions unanswered, officially.
All right. So
Yeah.
here's the burning question. Are you a PlayStation guy, an Xbox guy, a Nintendo guy, or a PC guy?
It depends on the game.
Okay.
I know that's a cheap answer, but
Nope.
No, it's all good. No, because I agree. Yeah.
like, and this actually happened within the past week. Like, I'll be streaming and, playing games with my friends, Sea of Thieves on PC, and it's like, all right, make it a show, superstars, and stuff like that. Some we say on our streams, Michael and I. But then it's like, okay, I'm a little bored. I feel like playing like an old school Nintendo game. All right, time to pop out the Switch real quick. All right, and that's something I can quickly pick up and put down. Like, and also, what's a game I haven't played in a long time that's co-op? Lego Lord of the Rings on Xbox 360. So,
Hey, there you go.
yeah. So, and that all happened within a week. So, so like, it really all depends.
Okay.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I've often said that if you want single player story driven games, Sony PlayStation is your that's your where to go. But if you just want like multiplayer where you can play with your friends, it's typically going to be Xbox
Yeah.
or PC.
Yeah. PlayStation definitely has the better exclusive titles, because you look, I mean, they've had Uncharted, they've had Last of Us, all their great platform video games that they've had, like Jack and Daxter and Crash Bandicoot, which Crash Bandicoot is kind of cross-platform because you can also get it on Xbox as well. Um, Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, like I would say probably Sony's probably the best at the platform games in my opinion.
Yeah. Plus, most of the Final Fantasies and
Most of the Final Fantasies, yep.
Kingdom Hearts before it went
Yeah.
on PC as well. Yeah, that one.
Hmm. So we'll delve back into voice acting just a little bit, but sticking with
Sure.
video games as well. Would you be interested in doing voiceover for video games? Is this something that you might delve into, or have you already partaken in that?
I actually have in a few, not as like a major characters or anything, but yeah, video games are definitely something I'd like to do more of, just to kind of experience it more now that I've, honed my craft a little better over the years. But earlier on, it's actually funny, where I met my best friend, Michael, was he actually directed me for my first video game role. I met this one studio at a little workshop they were doing at a convention, and they had mock auditions. So they were like, "Hey, anyone wants to come up and experience what it would be like to audition? Here's this side of the character that doesn't actually look like this because we can't, put someone's actual character stuff on there." And then they put the lines and said like, "Oh yeah, just come up." And I was like, why not? I'll give it a shot. I'm trying to, do more stuff. And they liked, what I did, and exchanged information, said, "Hey, do you have an email to where you can like send demos and stuff?" And so sent them what I had, got an audition, and they said, "Hey, we'd like to cast you as the roles of this particular character for this game." It's like, yeah, sure. Um, so got brought in, and the difference between anime and video games is one, it's very rarely, it seems like, with a video game, you'll get lip flaps that you have to match to.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes that is very, very handy. They used to be the bane of my existence. Gotten better now. But before it's like, okay, we're just saying the lines, we're doing our own pacing. Oh, this character also doesn't have a mouth. Fantastic. All right. So we were able to really kind of lean more into the acting, like kind of just in the moment, sometimes stretch it out. And this particular character had a very whispery, ethereal kind of voice. So because we didn't have any lip flaps to match to, we could play with the timing more. So one of the directions was like, I really want you to drag this out. Like the character was saying, like, we will not let you pass. But he was like, I want you to really drag out the like pass to like make it pass and stuff like that. So you can't do that if the lip flaps go like, okay, one, two, okay, you're done. Don't make it longer than that.
Right.
So I'd definitely be more interested in doing more video games in the future. I just got to remember to audition for those for the most part.
Well,
Was it there? Is
yeah, yeah, that might help a little bit there, Justin. Just
Yeah.
audition.
yeah, yeah. Is it
These are
isn't
my
there
VO confessions.
just when I thought I said all I could no. Um aren't the video game actors on strike right now too?
Yeah,
Over thing? Yeah.
over the AI issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read too much into that. I know it's like a lot of union-based stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Admittedly, I'm non-union, so I don't know all the specifics. But yeah, there is that the strike going on right now.
Mm.
So I have to be
Yeah.
careful to if I audition for a video game thing, I have to be very careful to see like, okay, this is non-union stuff. This isn't a role that someone with a union is currently actually playing, and they're trying to replace for cheap.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
unfortunately, that is something to look out for as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't want to be
Um,
that guy.
no, no, because A, you want to continue to work, but B, you don't want to ruin any friendships that you have made over, nonsense, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of the range of voices that you do, what would you say is the hardest voice you have done to sustain over a longer recording session?
Ooh, now there's a question. I'd say, hmm. I'd say probably the beast roll that I did, the one that I was growling for earlier, because imagine doing that or variations of that or like yelling with that kind of voice for about 45 minutes.
Mm.
with
Uh-huh.
an optional break, but I only took a very small one because I'm like, oh, I'm good. Let's go. Uh, well, the recordings great had turned out great, and I was getting more and more into character, and it was fun. So I'm like, no, I want to keep going. Let's do this. My character was beating the crap out of the hero. I'm like, yeah, I want to see how this goes.
Right?
I
Right?
eventually lost, but it was fun in the meantime.
Right.
But yeah, probably that one or the one of the first times I actually got brought into One Piece because I was asked to do a lot of screamy, yelly bits for one of this one extra character, but I made several newbie mistakes back then. I have learned better, but I didn't hydrate well that day. I had a sore throat and also
Mm.
drank hot, not warm and soothing, hot tea, and so. It was rough. I did get a
Mm.
good fish pirate voice out of that day, but that one human character that we needed to scream for, ugh, not my. I'd say that one was definitely the hardest because it was rough. And also after that beast voice, my voice was a little like, all right, I think I'm just gonna not talk for a little while. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh man.
It's like your
Um,
voice has got to be taking a beating after all that. I mean, obviously, you do something to, whether it be, hot tea mixed in with honey, lemon, all that, you know, all that stuff too, pretty much. That's normally that's normally the answer that we get when we hear like, how do you keep your voice healthy basically and strong whenever, you're doing like hour to 2 hour long recording sessions.
Yeah. It's also trying to make sure that like it is a character voice that you can actually comfortably sustain. Like I knew that I could do the Beast voice. Like I was kind of exaggerating like with how I felt afterwards, but like
hmm.
that is a voice, a character that I could do for a long time because I know like okay, that's that muscle that's doing that. Okay, I can do that without damaging something. Kind of like voice actor and Broadway singer Alex Brightman, the guy who did stuff for like Hell of a Boss and Beetlejuice the musical.
Yeah.
You can try to imitate that voice. If I did that voice, I could maybe do it ish for about 30 seconds. But there's something like that I'm not trained and haven't practiced a lot and everything and really built up the muscle for, like that would damage something for me. Whereas he's like, oh yeah, I can do this, no problem. Because he, knows the limits of his own voice. Because there's that too. You can train up to a certain degree, make sure you're warmed up and all that, but it's also just knowing your limits, you know. Like also like the seeing all the Dragon Ball stuff up there, I'm like, yeah, they could do the Super Saiyan scream because they know how to do it without too much damage. If I tried to do a Super Saiyan scream, especially for a long, long time, I'm not talking the rest of the day or maybe even the next day after that because I don't know how to
Right?
do it proper.
Right.
You just got to get in a power stance, like you're about to poop yourself, and then just scream as hard as you can.
It's also like knowing the
Yeah.
pitch and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten better at screaming and actually had to scream in a couple of sessions within the past month. But I was like, okay, I remember doing a bandit scream almost a year ago and like kind of building up the energy and like using, okay, this part of my voice, not this one. Okay, that's a lot easier to do. I can do that. Like
Yeah.
if I try to scream with like like that part of
Right.
my normal voice, something's gonna tear.
Right. And like
Right.
microphone distance works as well, right? Like you can like lean away from the microphone, scream really loud. Because if you do it like right up into the microphone, chances are the audio is probably going to crack or something like that.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Um, I haven't quite mastered it myself, but a lot of times, you can turn the volume down, turn down the gain and whatnot to where, it is better for you to, yell into the mic because
Right.
otherwise it's going to sound like you're yelling from far away.
Gotcha.
And one thing that I learned from both experiencing it, but also like attending a panel is that sometimes with anime, they'll actually be recording two tracks whenever someone's yelling at the same time. So that way, in case it is too loud and kind of like distorts it and everything, um, then at least it's like, okay, you've got the safety ones where it's like, okay, that was too loud for this recording, but this one that was recorded with a lesser, lesser gain, you can just amplify a little bit, and it's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna use that one.
Okay. Yeah, because I've always wondered because anytime, like, especially if you're doing like public speaking or stand up comedy, you always have to worry about, distance to the mic because you don't want it all up here and then it distorts the sound, but you don't want it so far away that people in the back of the room can't hear you. So I was just curious if it was the same. I mean, granted, you're in a studio setting and they have obviously more technology in front of them than just a microphone. So,
Yeah,
it was just a question.
yeah, yeah, and I appreciate the question, and
Thank you.
yeah, and also in a booth, you have the benefit of having an audio engineer, aka the wizard, helping you at all times because what they
Right.
do is pure wizardry.
It is.
And the speed that they do that at, you kind of have to, if you blink, you'll see about 10 different movements all at once of them just making you sound awesome. And that's also like one of the number 1 rules of voiceover etiquette. You do not insult or be mean to the wizard. You especially don't to the director, but especially not the engineer.
Because he could be like, I'm gonna turn your treble down just a little bit. I'm gonna make you sound horrible for this director. What's going on? I don't know. You picked him. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm just the guy to twist the knobs, remember? Anyway.
I'm the knob guy,
Yeah.
huh?
Uh,
Yeah.
So always respect the wizard. If there's anything to take away from this, respect the wizard.
Unless his name is Voldemort, but then, you know.
I have not met a audio engineer named Voldemort, but I'll keep an eye out just in case.
He's a
yes.
sneaky one.
Sorry, your name's what again?
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won't make any jokes this session. I'm sorry.
It's Cadabra.
Um, so Justin, without breaking any NDAs, what is next for you? What do you have coming up?
Well, I don't really have any. Oh, actually, wait, I do have one. Uh, sorry, sometimes you record something and then it may not come out for like months. It doesn't
Mhm.
happen very often for me personally, but I was like, oh wait, I do have one of those. Can't talk about that. Uh, but one show I'm actually currently in right now. It's on, I think, episode 4, I believe, premieres this Saturday, or maybe it's episode 3. You record them ahead of time, so it's like, wait, which
Mhm.
episode are we on this time? Uh, but I am currently playing a character in a show called "Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World?" And I play Ashran, one of the soldier guys, and one of the friends to the main character, which is pretty cool.
All right.
All
When
right,
is
cool.
when is your next stream?
Uh,
in
hmm.
20 minutes.
Yep. Right after he
Like,
gets off.
oh right, I gotta get ready for that. Yeah. Nah, my next stream this week is a little kind of chaotic, so I'm not going to be having a stream this week. But typically, I usually stream on like Sundays, kind of in the afternoon, or like on Tuesdays or Thursdays, like around 7-ish.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get better about a more consistent schedule. It's just a kind of hectic time this week in particular. But yeah, that's about when the next one is. I'm not going to have one this week, but next week I'm going to start getting back into the groove of things.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
and if people wanted to follow you on social media to find your stream, where would they go?
They would go to twitch.com/, Sithinger is my username on there. It's Sith Ginger, take out the first G and smush them together. Or you can just look up like at Justin Green VO and you'll find my stuff. I usually put like a beacons link with all the other stuff so you can find everything else. Or if you just look, this is ridiculous, but if you also look up, especially on TikTok, hashtag liches be like, and you see a red cloak skeleton, then that's where you'll find the rest of my stuff.
Gotcha.
Awesome. I'm going to TikTok right after this to watch watch some of your stuff.
Yes, and all of your social media information, where they can find you on Twitch and everything, will be in the description of this video for everyone to seek at their own risk.
It's not that bad. Come
I
on
know,
now.
I know, I know, I know, but I gotta give you hell.
So, Justin, we were once told that the greatest gift that you can share with another person is your time, and we greatly appreciate you sharing your time with us this evening.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. We're glad you had fun. If you want to just hang out with us for just one more minute while we pay a few bills, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight right here on Movement Radio. Chip, Roger, anything you guys want to say before we get out here tonight?
As always, please do not leave without leaving a like, comment, share, and subscribe on Spotify and right here on YouTube.
Your turn, Roger.
As always, thank you guys for the support. Thank you for showing us love, and thank you for hanging in there with us through everything. We are having a lot more content coming out. We have a couple convention stuff and everything like that. A few coming up, not this month. We have anything next month? I can't remember.
Yeah, we have two in October.
Yes.
December's
Yes.
next month, sir.
December is next month?
September.
September. No, we currently have nothing in September. Our
So we're
next
taking a break
is
in
in
September.
October.
So,
Yes.
but we got a lot in October.
But October, we got Cartersville Comic Con and C3 in October. So
Yep.
something you guys can look forward to with that. But also, like what Roger said, thank you for all the support. And if you want to continue to support Movement Radio, make sure you check out streamlabs.com/Movement Radio/merch and go copy some merch. Once again, Justin, thank you for joining us tonight, man. We really do appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I'm Talon Williams.
I'm Chip Hazard.
I'm Roger Sierra.
He is Justin Green, and this is Movement Radio.
God bless.